Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Smoky Mountain Gaming Studios. Today, we're going to be talking about all the new stuff that's been released about 10th edition for Warhammer 40k. I'm excited. I hope you are too. Luckily, things are pretty easy, and GW went ahead and gave us the all the information on the site. Sorry, my phone is going berserk, probably because I just started the stream. So it's easy to follow along if you wanted to. Just go to the Warhammer community website, and then they'll have a banner across the top of the screen, and then you can just click on that, and you'll be able to follow along with everything that I'm about to talk about here. Anyways, Warhammer 40k, new edition, everything you need to know. Which is good, because we need to know a lot. In the grim darkness of the far future, there is only war, but now that war is changing. The new edition of Warhammer 40k has been unveiled, and things will never be the same. Let's start by watching the old video. Boom, just put it in full screen.
Victory. That is what the preachers cry from the spires of their temples. What commanders tell the soldiers in their service. The Indomitus Crusade meets with triumph after triumph. Day by day we tear Imperium Nihilus from the Despoiler's grip. And though we are beset on all sides, with each battle we drive back the mutant, the heretic, the alien. As I speak these words, our forces engage the remnants of Leviathan. Reclaiming lost worlds, atoning for old shames. A crusade to cleanse the stars. Taking the fight to the enemy.
Lieutenant.
We routed the Tyranids at Baal. We broke their high fleet. Soon, their foulness will be but a memory. That is what the preachers say. Will not save us. Lies will not protect us. But it is our hope that will damn us. sing of victory. Victory as the galaxy burns. Victory as the Imperium rots around us. Victory as humanity rages against the dying of the light. Victory.
Love it. Over the coming months, we'll be taking a deep dive into the new edition. Blah, blah, blah. We all know that. That's exactly what we're here for. Anyways, like I said, the community page went ahead and did me a big solid, so I don't have to flip through article after article after article. They have them all right here for me. Boom. Look at that. It's all kinds of stuff. Anyways, we're going to go ahead and kind of start from the top, and I'll mostly just kind of skim through everything. Space Marine new Terminators. Back and ready to crash the party. Could watch the video, but it's just going to be new Terminators. Which, I mean, the new Terminator sculpts look amazing. The arms are no longer coming out of their ears. Which I like. They look bigger. And during the preview and stuff they did at Adepticon, they were saying that the Terminators can either be, Primaris Marines or Firstborn Marines, which I thought was pretty cool and, makes sense. The Terminator armor is just that. It's an armor, so it's like an honorary thing to wear. And right here you can see they have a good old Primaris Intercessor next to the new Terminator sculpt versus the old Terminator sculpt. And like I was saying, it looks almost like their arms are coming out of their ears with the way they are right there. But the new ones, oh yeah, that's quality. All right, let's check out the next thing. Termagant. The new Termagants. I don't think they look that much different, but I don't really play Tyranids to be honest. Goodness gracious. I haven't even drank yet today. But anyways, yeah, I haven't really played many Tyranids, and the ones I did play, they were just, if they had any Gants, they got picked up pretty quick. So, but they look cool. I mean, it looks like they have a lot of detail and stuff in them, whereas I'm sure the old sculpt was just not as detailed as these ones are. There you go. Oh, there it is. Yep, there's the old sculpt versus the new. Yeah, it's got a lot more detail to it. The faces look a lot cooler, in my opinion, with the new sculpt and the back carapace pieces. That's nice. That's pretty cool. 8 amazing trailer moments. Nah, I don't need to check out on that. 40K Q&A. Bleh. Studio interview the rules. What's happening to your codex? Here we go. What's happening to the codexes? Well, they announced during Adepticon that the rules are going to be free, which is great. That's what everybody needs. It just makes the game far more accessible. I know it's annoying to me having to buy like 3 different books just to run one army, and that's on top of purchasing the army and painting it and blah 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 blah. It can get kind of tedious. But yep, like an orbital drop pod searing its way through the flak-filled lower atmosphere, the new edition of Warhammer 40K is coming in hot. It's still the great game of epic battles in the grim darkness of the far future, but we're shaking things up a little. No, scratch that. A lot. Warhammer 40K has more than a dozen factions and more sub-factions, any of which makes a rich and deep strategic game. It's fair to say, however, the most recent edition has become unwieldy. The learning curve is steep, and you are often forced to spend too much time flicking through several books looking for the right special ruler stratagem. The new edition, everything's going to be simplified, not simple. So what they're doing is they're pretty much condensing everybody's rules down and stuff to be a 2-page thing. And they're making it, let's see, board and actions, blah, blah, blah. Yep. They're condensing everything down so that your rules is pretty much just on a 1-page spread, front and back. It has your stratagems and your army rules, faction traits, blah, blah, blah. All the stuff you need is right there instead of in 15 different places in your codex and in a, in a supplement book and in a white dwarf. So you don't have to carry all these things around. You'll just have a nice card almost. More than likely, I'm going to get those things printed out and laminated because they sound nice. And then they're going to keep on with the data cards, but the data cards are going to be so much better. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Age of Sigmar, but the data sheet cards on those are amazing. It has like all the information you need right there on a nice thick cardstock card. Terminators through the ages. Nah. How to play an army. Here we go. How army building works in the new edition. This is very important because everybody wants to know, what can you do in the new edition. Simplified, not simple, isn't an empty sentiment. It's a deep design philosophy that touches all parts of the new edition of Warhammer 40k, including how to muster an army. The detachment system has become a mainstay of Warhammer 40k for decades, and in one form or another, battlefield roles and old force organization charts were originally intended to help people structure their armies, but always came at the cost of arbitrary restrictions and exceptions. It served the game well, but battlefield roles are out, and major new flexibility is in. Woo! So I feel like since they did the Arcs of Omen detachment and stuff, people have really taken a liking to that. So they're going to try to work with that. Like I don't know if you guys have noticed, but I definitely have. GW seems to be listening to the community a lot, which is good. It's just great for the community as a whole. Anyways, select your battle size. You can do an incursion or a strike force mission like usual. Start your army roster, choose the faction, select attachment rules, select your units, promote your warlord. Wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. 6 steps done. Right? All right. Like I said, battle size, that's pretty easy to pick out. Incursion, strike force, or onslaught. Then they're also still 500-point games, but they're going to be but the core rules, like they say, are optimized for slightly larger forces than that, which makes sense. And I've felt that way throughout playing 9th. I ended up playing a lot of 500-point games just for quick fun and stuff, but I've always preferred larger games just because the synergy with the army is there, and things aren't as swingy just on one bad dice roll. Anyways, army roster. Army rosters can be anything you want them to be. You'll be able to download blank printable roster sheets from the Warhammer community. Oh, that's nice. Select your faction. Yep. This step hasn't changed, of course. Select your detachment rules. Here's where differences begin to show. Instead of choosing a sub-faction or constructing your own, you now choose a single detachment of rules for your whole army. These include special abilities, enhancements, stratagems, and unit restrictions. Okay, the enhancements, those are the new warlord traits and or relics. They started using that word in like the boarding actions games, and I've honestly really liked boarding actions just because of the simplicity of it. Like they cut out a lot of the stratagems and things like that, but then of course the Angron book came out and gave you more stratagems and stuff for select people, and then there's more books out and or coming out for them. But the boarding action games on a whole, in my opinion, are pretty fun. Anyways, for instance, you might be playing as the Gladius Task Force or the Adeptus Astartes. Your faction gives you the Oath of Moment army rule, and it also gives you Combat Doctrines ability, which allows you to pick from 3 powerful doctrines during the command phase. If you choose to fight between different detachment, you'd replace your stratagems, enhancements, and combat doctrines with those of the new detachment. Okay, that's pretty simple. You pick your army, you pick your detachment, boom, this is what you get. There's no, oh, well, I can pick from this, or I can pick from that. No, it's like, boom, this is what you get. You can pick from this. That's great. I love that. Picking the units. Okay, you gotta have at least one character. Maximum of one of each epic hero. See, they were really good about putting the each right there. I believe an epic hero is probably going to be like a named character, Lord of War, or something like that. Actually, maybe not Lord of Wars, because that would end up making it so you can't play knights. And they want you to play knights. They sell Imperial Knights and Chaos Knights. Of course, rule of 3, just like always, up to 3 of the same data sheet, and up to the 6 of the same battle line, or dedicated transport. So that's interesting, because before, you can have as many of the same troops choices as you wanted. Like if you wanted to do 8 units of 8 berserkers, go for it, which Corn likes that. I do too. Like I said, must include one character. You can only include one of each named epic hero. See? You can also include up to 3 individual units. See, everything's pretty much the same. Select your warlord. Choose one character as your leader, gain the warlord keyword, and you get to select your missions. See, that's super simple. I like it. Brief history? Nah, let's not do that. The Phobos Lieutenant. Sure, let's take a little gander at him. We already seen him in the video, but I think he's a pretty cool looking model. Not that we need any more, but it's like I love the scarring on his head here. That's really cool. And the Tyranid carapace on the shoulder pad. I think he's really cool. And his combi flamer is pretty nice. Dual combat knives. The dude's a beast. All right, changes to unit profiles. This is the big thing. So much cleaner now. All right, Intercessor Squad. You can see it has all the standard stuff like before. Movement, toughness, has its save value here, wounds, leadership, which is battle shock, and then OC, objective control. The leadership is you gotta roll 2d6 and you score a higher to succeed. It's no longer lower. Which kind of ended up like confusing a lot of, especially like newer players and things like that. I know in 8th edition, like morale phase was a nightmare. It's like, cool, I am guaranteed to lose at least 15 guys in my horde army. Objective control, that's really cool. I like that. Hold the ground with, pretty much gives you the option to, well, it makes it so that holding objectives is going to be a lot easier. Your Terminators, we're going to count as 1, because I've already seen we've seen the objective control for that. It's 1. Intercessors count as 2. So it looks like a lot of the troops choices are going to count as 2. And that's going to be huge. I like that. We've seen like a bunch of vehicles and stuff. They're going to have higher OCs. And we'll see more. There's a cool picture of a Salamander's force going against some Thousand Suns. How's leadership work? Like I was saying, you got to roll above. What happened to the weapon skill, ballistic skill, strength and attacks? Those characteristics are now going to be on there with the weapon profiles, which just makes things a lot cleaner. You don't have to sit there and be like, okay, well, see, I'm +4, I'm 4 strength, and I get a +1 on my attack, on my strength profile for the weapon, and it's -2 AP and 3 damage. But if I have 2 of them, I get to do 4 damage, or something silly like that. Weapon profiles explain. They go on to say, pretty much, like a chainsword in the hands of a space marine is deadlier and easier to hit with than one of a cultist, which is very true, and it should be that way. Like here's the bolt pistol, range 12. It has 1 attack, like always. Ballistic skill 3. So it's nice. They have the ballistic skill right there on the weapon for you. Strength 4, 0 AP, 1 damage. Simple. Close combat weapon. Everybody has a close combat weapon, no matter what. 3 attacks, 3 weapon skill, 4, 0, 1. I love it. They just kind of cleaned everything up. And in my opinion, like the looks of it is a lot nicer. Let's check out the Terminator stat line. Just how tough are these new Terminators? Well, boom, here's the data sheet. They're pretty tough. Movement 5, like normal. T5, saves 2+, 3 wounds. Leadership 6, OC 1. Okay, because they're an elite choice. They're meant to not really stand on an objective. They're supposed to go and do other stuff. But I'm sure there's probably, I'm sure they'll probably like end up giving like Darkwing Terminator, Deathwing Terminators, OC2, because they have objective secured and stuff like that. So it's going to be interesting to see. You see the assault cannon, it has the devastating wounds, which is on a, I believe it's on a 6 to wound is a mortal wound, which is pretty cool. Blast, I hadn't seen the blast rule yet, so that's going to be interesting. Hopefully it's the same as it is with 9th edition, because that's a really good system for it. Heavy Flamer ignores cover. Flamers should ignore cover. They're flames. It's also a torrent weapon, which I don't know exactly what that's going to mean. I don't know if that means they're going to bring out like a flame template or not, but I don't really see them doing that. Stormbolter, Rapid Fire 2. Rapid Fire is you get to do 2 more shots if you're within half range. Just like normal. Hello, Dr. Mustache. Looks like the kitten's joining us today. Then you have down here their melee weapons. You have the Chain Fist, which has anti-vehicles of 3+. So that means it always wounds a vehicle on a 3-up. Pretty cool. As you can see over here with the Chain Fist, it has a 4-up weapon skill, so it takes into account the -1 that you'll get from hitting with it. The strengths are already built in. Power Fist and Chain Fist are both strength 8. Power Weapon is generally +1 strength, so it's strength 5. And they seem to drop the AP a lot, which is kind of nice. I like that. Okay, see you later, Dr. Mustache. Thank you for making an appearance. Now over here, you can see they have the faction rule Oath of Moment. They'll go over that a little bit more, but from what I had seen, it's reroll all hits and wounds against a target chosen in the command phase. It's pretty powerful. I'm not a big fan of rerolls, even though I play Tau, and that's the only way you can play them. But, you know, it is what it is. Hopefully they're going to try to cut back on the rerolls, and they're just trying to show us the new cool rules. Teleport Homer at the start of the battle. You can set up 1 Teleport Homer token for this unit anywhere on the battlefield. Not in your opponent's deployment zone. Blah, blah, blah. It's pretty cool. It's pretty much just deep striking in. Fury the First. Each time the model makes an attack, you can ignore any or all modifiers to the ballistic skill or weapon skill characteristic to the hit roll. In addition, each time a model in that unit makes an attack that targets an enemy you selected for the Oath of Moments ability, add 1 to the hit roll. That's pretty good. So it makes it so they ignore hit modifiers, which is good. You know, they've earned Terminator armor, so they should be ignoring all that anyways. And an invul of 4-up. Pretty nice. You know, no need to give them a storm shield. They already got that invul now. Those chunky dudes. These are Terminators I actually like. These guys look pretty cool. So like, anyways, with the rapid fire rule, here's rapid fire weapons with rapid fire X in their profile are known as rapid fire weapons. Each time such a weapon targets a unit within half the range, the attack's characteristic of the weapon is increased by the amount denoted by X. So, Storm Bolter is going to shoot out 4 at range 12, like they have been. Here's the anti-vehicle weapon ability. Weapon ability, anti whatever. Weapons with anti-keyword X plus in their profile are known as anti-weapons. Each time an attack is made with such a weapon against a target with the keyword after the word anti, an unmodified wound roll of X plus scores a critical wound. Okay. Yep, and critical hits and critical wounds are just 6s. Tyranid hate crime. I love the Tyranids. They're nice. They're nice. Thanks for joining, Keith. I appreciate that. Anyways, abilities. This is a cool little stratagem they decided to show off. Rapid Ingress. It's a core stratagem, so that means I think everybody's gonna get it. Yep. When into your opponent's movement phase, target one unit from your army that is in reserves. Effect: your unit can arrive on the battlefield as if it was your reinforcement step of your movement phase. Restrictions: you cannot use this stratagem to enable a unit to arrive on the battlefield during a battle round. It would not normally be able to do so. That's awesome. That's going to be good for so many armies. It's going to make just the interactivity between turns so much more. I no longer just sit there and look at my phone while my opponent's doing his movement phase. Which is nice. Then, like I said, the Fury of the First. We're going to take a look at the Oath of Moments ability here in a little bit. Bloop. Here we go, right now, actually. Detachment rules. Faction rules are leaner and cleaner in the new edition of Warhammer 40,000. Yay! Already looked at how to build an army and stuff. So, bloop. Remember, you'll see this often. Simplified, not simple. It's the catchphrase. The Oath of Moment rule. It's Adeptus Astartes army rule. If your army faction is Adeptus Astartes at the start of your command phase, select one unit from your opponent's army until the start of the next command phase. Each time a model from your army with this ability makes an attack against the enemy unit, you can reroll the hit roll and you can reroll the wound roll. That's pretty gross. You'd be like, all right, that guy, I don't like that guy. He's gone. And that's pretty much how it's going to be. But then again, I don't know how everything's going to end up being. No one knows. 10th isn't quite here yet. Exploring the detachments. The Oath of Moment is an army ability. And then here's the detachment rule for Tyranids. They have the hyper adaptations. At the start of the first battle round, select one of the following hyper adaptations to be active for your Tyranids units for your army until the end of the battle. This is pretty nice because you get to pick it, based on what you're going against, which is very flavorful for the Tyranids. Swarming instincts. Each time a Tyranid's model with this hyper adaptation makes an attack that targets an enemy infantry or swarm unit, that attack has the sustained hits ability. Sustained hits are 6s to hit, are additional hits. Hyper aggression. Each time a Tyranid's model with this hyper adaptation makes an attack that targets a enemy monster or vehicle, that unit has the lethal hits ability. Lethal hits, I believe, are critical hits are automatically wound, I believe. I'll just double check. They'll talk more about them later on, hopefully. Hive Predators. Each time a Tyranid's model with this hyper adaptation makes an attack that targets an enemy character unit, if a critical hit is scored, that attack has the precision ability. I forget what precision does too. They're going to be bringing it back universal special rules, which I think is going to be great. There'll be a little bit of a learning curve for everyone, but I feel like as long as they have a one sheet printout, we'll be good. We'll be fine. We'll figure it out pretty quick. I know Kill Team has a lot of the universal special rules and stuff that they use in it, and like just after playing about 7 games of Kill Team, I feel like I have a lot of them down already. I believe Precision and Kill Team was like better AP, or no, they don't have AP in there. I don't know. Wait, or something like that. It gives you an AP. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Armor Contempt returns as a stratagem for the Gladius Task Force. So here's a look at another stratagem, but this one's Armor Contempt, and it's only for the Gladius Task Force. When your opponent's shooting phase or fight phase, just like old Armor Contempt, you get to worsen the attack penetration of the attack penetration characteristic of that attack by 1. Cool. So you make your AP 1s, AP 0, or AP 2s 1. It can be pretty clutch. Here's an enhancement. Like I was saying earlier, enhancements are, I believe, going to end up being Warlord traits and or relics. Artificer armor. They made this so much better than what it used to be. Just as a Astartes model only, the bearer has a save characteristic of 2 up and a feel no pain of a 5 up. It's pretty nice. I generally took the armor Indomitus over Artificer armor, but I have a feeling they're probably going to take the armor Indomitus out. I have a feeling they're going to take a lot of stuff out. I know we're going to have a lot of doomsayers and stuff just because, like, oh no, they took this out, they took that out. Oh, what am I going to do? Okay, well, look, it's okay. It's okay. This is a new edition. Everything's new. Everything's changing. It's okay. Let's check out Von Ryan's Leapers. These guys look pretty cool. Little baby leapers. Not since I got a Nid lover here in chat. Let's watch the Nids tear up some space marines. Those guys look nice. It's nice to see they're expanding the Tyranid range and, you know, cleaning up all the models and stuff for them. Like, look at that little guy. Oh, yeah. Well, he's just coming in for a hug. That one, yep. Reminds me of the, like the face and stuff. Reminds me of the crab things from Half-Life. Ones that jump on your head and eat your brain, and then, yeah, they're pretty cool. Yeah, these guys look pretty awesome. I wonder exactly how big they are. I'd hope that they're on a 32 at least. It'd be really cool if they were on 40s, though. If they were on a 40 mil base, oh yeah. Those things would be terrifying on the table. That'd be so cool. Yeah, look at these guys. A lot of details been putting in to these models, and I love it. All right, character rules. I love this. Leaders now join squads to personally deliver powerful boons in the new Warhammer 40k. All right, the new edition of 40Ks brings some pretty massive changes to the rules. One of the most eye-catching is the way characters now interact with the subordinates. The powerful aura bonuses that they used to impart to all nearby troops are gone in almost all cases. These effects were powerful, but the potential to stack them up made balancing the game tricky. Yes, it did. So now, rather than handing out rerolls to anyone in earshot, your heroes now join a single squad and act as one cohesive unit. It's an elegant system that helps keeps overbuffed super units at bay. For now, we'll see. Primaris Lieutenant, he has the tactical precision ability. When this model is leading a unit, weapons equipped by models in that unit have the lethal hits ability, which is the 6's auto wound, I do believe. Target priority, the model's unit is eligible to shoot and declare a charge in a turn in which it fell back. That's pretty cool. That's going to be pretty handy. But they go into, like, what all can he take? What all can he go into? Because you can't just go into any unit. You can't be leading around Terminators or something that he's... or like Gravis, things like that. So he can go into an Assault Intercessor Squad, Blade Guard, Heck and Hell Blasters, Intercessors, and a couple of redacted squads. I think at least one of those redacted squads is going to be the Flame Intercessors that we seen in the trailer. And the other one may be like some kind of Reavers or something, because that one Primaris Lieutenant that they're putting out with the Tyrannid carapace and stuff is looks kind of like a bit of a Reaver. So I don't know, we'll see. Oh, thanks for joining, Grotworks. You have using old edition's best features. Most people, yes, I've noticed that. Like a lot of people just talking. Like I watched a little bit of Liam Dempsey and stuff. He's pretty good. And I unfortunately only started in 8th edition, but he was saying like a lot of good stuff from 7th is coming back into this, and I'm looking forward to it. I think it's pretty awesome. His tactical precision ability grants his subordinates lethal hits, a core ability that makes critical hits the new term for an unmodified 6 on a hit roll, automatically wound their target. Yep. So lethal hits is unmodified 6s, auto wound. Pretty simple. See, the old Lookout Sir has now devolved into this new system. Your leader is kept safe by the bodyguards and can usually be targeted only when everyone else in the squad has died. Which is good. That's pretty cool. Some characters only gain the Lone Operative ability. Ooh, yes, Lone Operatives. Not all characters possess the Leader ability. However, independent swords may instead have the Lone Operative ability, which means they can't be targeted by ranged attacks unless the attacker is within 12 inches. This potent defensive trait is common among the stealthier specialists in the 40k Millennium, such as the Vindicar and Commander Shadowsun. I run Shadowsun, so yes, I know this ability. Some characters only gain the Lone Operative ability when taking shelter near an appropriate unit, such as when Ironfather Pharos is working on an allied vehicle, or Lion L. Johnson is near a unit of Adeptus Astartes infantry. Such heroes tend to benefit their commands without leading them, perhaps through aura abilities that boost nearby allies. Okay, so they're not completely getting rid of aura abilities, but I like being able to put characters into units. I feel like it should have always been that way. All this talk of defensive boons highlights one of the core aims of the new edition, making hardy units feel appropriately tough on the battlefield. This is most evident with vehicles, so if you want to see what sort of punishment your tanks and skirmishers can take, oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, we're going to get to that. We're getting to the vehicles next. Boop. Vehicles are way tougher now, which is good. That it needs to make sense. They need to be tougher. I'm definitely excited about them expanding the toughness value. It being so low was kind of odd with the varying strengths of weapons. Anyways, there are a few things in the 41st Millennium as terrifying as a headlong assault by waves of heavily armored tanks, which is why forces like Astra Militarum love them so much. But it wasn't really that scary. Sorry. All this talking. Right, yeah. I have Chaos Knights as well. Yes, there's good and there's bad. See, I can't wait to see some Knights stuff come up. That's what I really want to see. Like, how are they going to do the super heavies and like big giant Lord of Wars, things like that. But anyways, recently, armored vehicles have been struggling to keep with the relentless firepower the average 40k army can throw around. So one major focus of the new edition has been making these units that feel tough more meaningfully durable. And that mentality starts with the tanks. Yeah. Alright, let's go on down here. Rhino, now T9. Used to be T7. Now it's T9, still 10 wounds, 3 up save, has 2 OC, which is pretty nice. Yeah, melee, yeah. War dogs will probably definitely be less killy and shooting, Grot works, but yeah, melee is. You still got those carnivores though. Those guys are gross. I love them. I like that they changed it so your rhino driver can actually run over somebody, hit on a 4, 3 attacks, strength 6, 0 AP, 1 damage. This is a storm bolter, good old hunter killer missile, but this one hits on a 2, so you're less likely to just miss the shot, but you will fail to wound, I'm sure. That's what they do. Strength 14, minus 3 AP. Minus 3 AP, I hope, is going to be like the highest we see AP. But we'll see. And it has this nice little ability, self-repair. At the end of the command phase, regains 1 lost wound. So it's fallen to chaos, and the demon engines are coming alive. So what's really going on there? Coming out of the gate with the toughness score, match Titans Bold, blah 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 blah. Alright, up at the same time, sees 2 core abilities, Deadly Demise and Firing Deck. Firing Deck is pretty cool. Firing Deck X. Let's see if they have it on here. Nope, not yet. Okay. But I know like Firing Deck X is you can pick, like if it's 2, then 2 people that's in the transport can pop out and shoot shots with their guns. That's pretty cool. I mean, it makes sense. There's 2 portholes in the Rhino anyways for people to pop out and take some shots. And then you have what was the other one? Deadly Demise. Yes, that's probably going to be you're blowing up on a 6. Nothing too special, but fun. Oh, yep, Deadly Demise D3. Yep, so blowing up on a 6 for D3 wounds within 6 inches. Firing Deck 2. Like I said, it's going to be 2 people popping out and shooting their guns. Which is pretty nice. The Storm Speeder is going up to T9, movement 14. It's 11 wounds. Objective control 3. That's going to be pretty nice right there. That OC3, I can see that coming in handy. The Gladiator. And then the Repulsor. My goodness. Repulsor T12. That's a big heckin' chunker of a vehicle right there. I'm going to need to get me some more Space Marine vehicles, especially Land Raiders, after seeing some of the other rules, which we'll talk about here soon. Weapon lethality. Yeah, the Rhino data sheet boosted the idea that GW reviewed all weapons and data sheets and made individual updates. We went from T6 to T9. Yeah. Yeah, the Storm Speeder was just T6, now it's T9, which is very interesting. Yeah. I don't know, I'd like to see big knights at T14. But that may be too much to ask. I don't know. New weapons. Beautifully painted Dark Angels. It's weird seeing Chaos fight Chaos. But alas, here we are. Anyways, up until now, your guns are divided into several categories. Heavy, rapid fire, assault, and so on. And the new, they kind of just put some stuff together. Like standard bolt rifle is both a heavy and an assault. When the assault is in the profile, it's known as an assault weapon. If the unit is advances this turn, contains any models equipped with these assault weapons, it's still eligible to shoot, which is great. Heavy means if you stand still, then or remain stationary, you could add 1 to your hit roll, which is also awesome. Yes, that's right. Yeah, stomp at T14. Yes, and I think railgun was like strength 20 or 21. Which is nutso. Devastating wounds. Here we go. Devastating wounds on the Terminator assault cannon. That's each time an attack is made with a weapon, a critical wound inflicts a number of mortal wounds on the target equal to the damage of the characteristic, and that attack sequence ends. So it'll do 1 mortal wound on 6 to wound, which is pretty cool. 6 attacks, so you may get 1, 2 if it pops off. Then you got the Melta rifle. Has heavy, because of course it does. And Melta 2. The Melta 2 is pretty much just whenever you're in Melta range, you get to add +2 damage. Which is pretty cool. Yeah, Strength 20 Railgun, so Night Tyrant is going to be silly. Yep. I hope the Night Tyrant's going to be silly. I hope Knights are silly. They're fun to play against and stuff. And play with. The Shuriken Cannon ignores cover. Pretty cool. And sustained hits. Weapons with sustained hits and their profile are known as sustained hit weapons. Each time an attack is made with weapon, a critical hit is rolled. Attack is scored number of additional hits by the targets donated by X. So for each 6 to hit, it's going to be exploding 6s. Cool. I love it. Twin linked. This is the one I'm not a big fan of. Weapons that are twin linked in their profile are known as twin linked weapon. Each time an attack is made with such a weapon, you can reroll the attack's wound roll. Okay. You would think it would be more of like hit rolls to reroll, but whatever. And I'm not the biggest fan of the rerolls just because, well, it's going to slow down the game. They want to make it faster. I'd like it to be faster. Everybody'd like it to be faster. Just so you can spend more time just hanging out with your friends. Almost done, guys. 3 more things left. Let's look at that Terminator Librarian. Increase your army's Shishin power with the new Terminator Librarian. This guy looks pretty cool. I like how beards are making a comeback and a nice stash. May have to try to file off the beard or something and make him a Tom Selleck. Yeah. There we go. Tom Selleck Librarian. Ooh, yeah. If executioners go to twin linked. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Ooh, right. Twin linked flamers. And I think like a lot of Eldar weapons have a lot of twin link stuff too, so it's going to be interesting. 'Cause Eldar weapons are pretty devastating. But yeah, Tom Selleck Terminator. May have to get him, but I'll have to get him after I eventually find a lion. Don't even have a Dark Angels army, but gonna have to get a lion. It's a nice book of Zeech he has. Book of spells he has there. He also carries a huge axe. Yes. But as we've seen in the trailer, he ended up getting toasted by some Tyranids. Still a really cool model. Phase structure. Going down from 7 phases to 5. The new edition of 40K makes all the phases count. It's all changed in the upcoming new edition of 40K. Even the very basics of the game have been simplified to make the game smoother and faster without losing depth. Okay. We'll see about how much faster it is. I still remember 8th edition, my first game, was 8 hours long. That was awesome. The turn structure is still the same. One player still takes the first turn to maneuver and fight with all the forces at their disposal, and the second person does the same. This is called the battle round, but 7 phases now become 5, like I was saying. Battle round. The command phase, both players muster strategic resources, then you test your unit's battlefield readiness. The battle shock test is going to be taking part in the command phase, as far as I know. Movement phase, just like normal, you move everybody. Shooting phase, start blasting. Charge phase, get up in their faces. Fight phase, smash the face, collect skulls. Okay, so here's the headline. The phase structure is broadly the same. You perform admin for the turn, head in the command phase, then you maneuver the movement phase. Take aim in the shooting phase, charge in melee, and get biffing in the fight phase. I like that. What happened to the psychic phase? Oh no. Well, you see, the psychic phase is now just put in with your weapons and stuff. You'll have like Smite, as you can see here, is a Witchfire, so it'll be taken care of in the shooting phase. He also has Velatime Psychic. When this model is leading a unit, weapons equipped by the models have the sustained hits ability, which is pretty cool. So he's able to buff the unit he's with, as well as still cast his spells, but now you'll be getting a save against it. So like anything they don't have any psychers or any psychic protection will now have something to help them, by making a save. Then you can see here, like the weird boy, he doesn't have any psychic spells per se, other than the jump. Once per turn at the end of your movement phase, one weird boy from your army can use this ability. If it does, roll a d6. On a 1, the weird boy's unit suffers d6 mortal wounds. It's bad. On 2 up, remove that weird boy unit from the battlefield and set it up anywhere more than 9 inches away from all enemy models. The jump. Which is good. I like that. And they also have the wall energy. When this model is leading a unit, add 1 to the strength and damage characteristics of models' Edbanger weapons for every 5 models in that unit, rounding down. But while the unit contains 10 or more models, that weapon has the hazardous ability. So this is the part I like right here. It contains 10 or more models. I'd like to see big Horde armies kind of make a comeback in 10th. I have all these demons that used to be Horde, and now they're just elite. And so I have to swap out my demons as I bring them to tournaments or games just to knock the dust off of them. Instead of just picking, all right, cool, there's my 60. Whoosh. All right, yep, and let's do 60 Plague Bears too. Whoosh. The morale phase. The phase that didn't affect anything ever is now changing. Now it's Battle Shock. In this step, you must take a Battle Shock test for each of your units on the battlefield that's below half strength. To do so, roll 2d6. If the result is greater than or equal to the best leadership characteristic in that unit, the test is passed. Otherwise, the test is failed. Until the start of your next command phase, the unit is Battle Shocked. While a unit is Battle Shocked, the objective control characteristics of all the models in the unit is 0. If it falls back, you must make a desperate escape test for every model in the unit. Its controlling player cannot use stratagems to affect that unit. That's cool. I like that. You're no longer running away. Space Marines don't run away. Elves don't run away. Necrons don't run away. Yeah. The only army that will say that yes, my people run away is Guard. Because, yeah, unless there's a commissar around, then they're not, because they'll just get shot in the head. Anyways, I like the change to Battle Shock. I always hated models dying due to morale. That was never fun. That was always a really dull moment. Alright, that was the phase structure. Let's take a look at some transports. Transports are a fast and flexible way to travel the new edition in style. I want to get me a Land Raider or 2 or 3 or more. I have a lot of armies, so I can split them up. Maybe I should just paint them Neapolitan. Anyways, now that you know how much tougher the vehicles are, let's check out some of the other rules. In the past, only certain units were allowed to bundle out of transports in the units, but now they figured, oh yeah, our seats can just fit anybody in them, which is good. Here we go, firing deck rule. Some transports have the firing deck X listed in their abilities. Each time a model is selected to shoot in the shooting phase, you can select up to X models embarked within it. Then for each of the embarked models, you can select one ranged weapon, like I was saying earlier, for someone to shoot from. Go mechanic, kick. I don't know. At the end of your movement phase, you can select one friendly Orcs vehicle unit within 3 of this model. This vehicle model regains up to D3 lost wounds until the start of your next movement phase. Each time a vehicle model makes an attack, add 1 to the hit roll. Each model can only be selected for this ability once per turn. Okay, so he's a Tech Marine Orc. Yeah. Mechanic. I'm an idiot. It's a mechanic. Duh. Of course. Turoks. Turoks have the rapid deployment. Units can disembark from this transport after it is advanced. Units that do so count as having a normal move that phase and cannot declare a charge at the same turn, but can otherwise act normally. You know what, that's right. I didn't read some stuff. That's just more about that. All right, yep. In the past, only certain units were allowed to bundle in, blah, blah, blah. I already talked about that. Now any embarked unit is free to hop out of transport once it has moved. That's awesome. Provided the vehicle didn't advance or fall back, they can also shoot but can't make a charge unless they disembark before the vehicle moves. This is a major improvement for mechanized armies that like to leap around and stuff. Tau pretty much already had it with their Devilfish. They did Devilfish Rush for a little bit. It was okay. Anyways, down here, Land Raider reclaims its assault ramp, meaning passengers can declare a charge on the same turn they disembark. If this sounds like a return to the glory days of delivering Terminators hot and fresh into headlong assaults, you'd be right. But it's not only the Space Marines transport with this newfound ability. Minus a couple exceptions, Space Marine transports no longer care whether a Primaris unit is riding in the back or not. Which is cool. It shouldn't. This model has transport capacity of 12 Adeptus Astartes infantry models. Each jump pack, Wolfen, Gravis, or Terminator models takes up 2 spaces, and each Centurion takes up 3. As it should, so you can shove 4 Centurions in there. Nice. Many other transports got a new lease on life with characterful rules of their own. The Chimera is often used as a command post by Astra Militarum officers, so now they can bark orders from relative safety with the mobile command vehicle rule. Orc too smart for me. Yes, Keith. Orc too smart for me. They got me. They got me good. I hope everybody got a good laugh out of that. I did. Mechanic. God, got me. Chimera, mobile command vehicle. In your command phase, one officer model embarked with this transport can issue orders even though it is not on the battlefield. When doing so, measure distances to and from this transport. The Falcon Grab Tank, meanwhile, leads supporting fire to disembarked passengers by picking out priority targets with its guns. So the Falcon will give you rerolls on the wound roll if you target the same thing that it targets with the unit that disembarked out of it, which is pretty cool. That's it. All right. Well, that's everything. I thank you everybody for coming out and joining me and stuff. I am super excited about this new edition. I hope you are too. It's going to be great. I feel like it is. I know, like Katie from Tabletop Titan Tactics, not Titans, blah. She was saying it's going to be the golden age of Warhammer, and I really feel like it's going to be. Everything I've seen has been really awesome, very thematic, very narrative, and, you know, packs a little bit more of a punch. I hope the game goes a little bit quicker. I would like for my games to be around 2 to 2.5 hours rather than 3 hours plus. Thank you, Keith. Yep. Going to a tournament tomorrow. Going down to Dalton, Georgia with Mike. And he found some kind of weird nudist gaming store. So I'm like, all right, sure. I guess I can. It's okay if I be clothed. And he's like, yeah, it's fine. So I'm gonna go hang out with him. It's gonna be a weird drive, but you know, it'll be okay. I'll just review my rules. It'll be weird games, but you know, it's fine. As long as nobody just pulls it out and puts it on the table, things will be good. I'm joking. It's not actually nudist or anything like that. That's a joke. It's a joke, please. Anyways, I hope you guys have a great Saturday. Thank you for joining me with checking out these new rules and stuff. Be sure to like the video, give me a subscribe if you haven't already, and feel free to comment. Let me know what new rules really excite you and stuff. What are you thinking about for the new edition? One thing they didn't have on here was the terrain rules thing. So I'll at the end of next month, I'll compile everything else up until now, and then we'll talk about that as well. But the terrain rules, from what I've seen, I'll just go ahead and go over a little bit. They pretty much just kept it so you have a +1 to save, but your save characteristic cannot be better than 3 up while in cover, which is pretty nice. They also made it so that you have like better shooting platform if you're up on a structure, things like that. It's very interesting. They did also mention in the article that obscuring is still there, so like if your unit is completely behind a ruins or anything like that, then you're not going to be seen. So anyways, everybody, thank you again for joining me today. I hope you have a great rest of the day. Stay safe, and remember, if you're playing with plastic toys and you're not having fun, you're doing it wrong.